The amount of money people are paying for rent for their house on the rise all across the country, even in places you might not expect. Real estate agent Kendra Todd says in some of these places you're better off buying a house than renting a house. And she joins us right now from Seattle. Good morning to you, Kendra.
Good morning, Steve.
Explain that to me. How come it's cheaper to actually buy the house rather than rent it?
That's a really good question. Well, first of all, I think that there are always tremendous benefits to home ownership, the ability to own something that you're able to actually sell later and cash in on the equity. But there's an interesting phenomenon that's going on in the country right now, and in certain cities, and I'm not talking about the big ones like Seattle, San Francisco, New York, but in smaller cities across America, rents have spiked between 10 and 23% in the course of 1 year, making renting unaffordable.
Sure.
So it brings renters to the question, should I buy? Is now the time to buy instead of rent?
Okay, so we've got 3 cities where this is the case. And first up, let's talk a little bit about Jackson, Mississippi, where the rent has gone up almost 23%, and the median rent is $1,100. So you say it's cheaper to buy a house there than rent it, right?
It is. The average home price in Jackson, Mississippi is right around $165,000. And if a buyer were to put 5% down, they would literally be able to get a mortgage that is about $10, you know, give or take, equivalent to the rent that they would be paying. So that one's a no-brainer. Okay,
another no-brainer is in Portland, Maine, which is one of the most beautiful cities along the coast in Maine. Rent's gone up close to 20%. The median rent is $1,100. Cheaper to buy than rent there as well.
It is. In some cases, to be able to get a home for $270,000 in a gorgeous coastal city is a real steal. There's a lot of property that's cheaper. And if you were to purchase, you would very easily be able to buy a property that was either equivalent to what you were paying in rent or just a couple $100s more.
Final stop, the mile-high city of Denver, Colorado. Rent's gone up there 10%. Median rent is $1,800. And once again, you say better off buying in Denver.
Yeah, $1,800 for rent is pretty expensive for Denver. And while the average home price there is $355,000, you can get a smaller house or a really nice condo with a mortgage of about $1,800 a month. Or you can spring for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, pay $2,200 a month, and you're on your way to really making money as a first-time home buyer.
That's right. You put equity into your pocket, not the landlord's. Great advice. All right.
That's right.
Kendra Todd joining us from Seattle, where she's been up all night. I'm not going to say sleepless in Seattle because that would be too expected. All right, Kendra, thank you very much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Okay. All right, 11 minutes.